Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with daily technical update. It is Monday the 30th of June, last day of the month, and this video is for educational only, so there's no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended. It is purely to demonstrate how I try to read the market using technical analysis. And today let's start with Alphabet C shares that actually Thursday closed above resistance here at 172.90, following through Friday, and it is resuming uptrend, bullish trend on the bullish sentiment on the RSI. Next is around 183, but I think it will push higher. The only thing dragging lower is or holding back a little bit is the 100 moving average, but I think we'll see it pushing higher. And we talked about Amazon last week or Friday that it was range bound, but then Friday, well, it closed well above the upper resistance here, resuming uptrend. RSI back above 60 threshold, no divergence indicating likely higher levels, could push towards 230, 240 in the coming weeks. So quite bullish trend there, 55 moving average and 200 also pointing higher. So a fairly strong bullish trend on that one. And just when we are with the A's, well, then we have Apple still range bound here, trying to gain some momentum, but it needs to close above 206.25 to establish a bullish trend. And on the overall market, yeah, we saw Nasdaq 100 being lifted further Friday and to new all-time highs, and RSI positive, no divergence indicating likely higher levels in the coming days and weeks. So it seems like we are having a summer rally, which is a bit unusual, but it has seen before. Where it will move to, well, it's hard to predict, of course, but 23,000 is being, we'll keep an eye on that, could be reached. Here pre-market of about 0.5%, so fairly strong indeed there. Also the S&P 500 here pre-market up almost 0.5%, so it looks fairly strong at the moment. And looking at the actual index here, Friday we can see it closed above its previous all-time highs, and also new all-time high S&P 500 pushing higher. So what we can do, we can remove this line there because it has been broken. Dow Jones closed just below resistance here at 43,861, and it was very close to 44,000. So, but it looks fairly strong too. Positive sentiment, no divergence. So I think we'll see it also pushing higher here on the in the coming days and weeks. And we can see here pre-market is already above 44,000. In Asia, mixed picture where we have Hang Seng a little bit lower again this morning here. So it's not being lifted by the positive tones in the US market. Dipped a little bit lower here this morning. However, we do have the 55 and 100 moving average coming up here. So I think it will resume uptrend eventually. And if it takes out the peak there at the 24,534, well, then the uptrend is likely to resume towards 25,000. Nikkei, on the other hand, was very bullish this morning, spiked above or spiked close to the 41,000. Didn't get all the way up there, but positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence indicating likely higher levels. So I would guess that we will see it testing 41,000 fairly soon, but it's a little bit stressed, but still bullish. European markets, we had EURUSTOXX50, had a very good day Friday, and it's about to resume uptrend. It's not confirmed yet, but I think it will do that. And if it closes above 5,345, well, then it's likely to do that. Here pre-market, it is a little bit higher, so it seems to be resuming uptrend to be above the 100, but also setting back a little bit. Could be a little bit of a struggle though. DAX, on the other hand, did resume uptrend, closed well above the 23,740, and has its eyes set on the previous all-time highs here and RSI just below 60 threshold, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it being broken today. Here pre-market, more or less unchanged, flirting with the RSI 60 threshold, so maybe a little bit of a setback, but I think we will see it pushing higher. It has to resume uptrend. If it slides back below 23,730, and let's just look at the overall market, if it slides back below 23,740, well, then the bullish trend is in jeopardy. But with the moving averages, the 55 and 100 coming up there, I think it's just a question about time before it will test the previous all-time highs there. On the FX market, we saw euro dollar crawling slowly higher and higher. And if we're looking at the weekly chart, we can see, well, we are above 117. We are pushing towards 18, and I think it will be reached. Positive sentiment on both daily and weekly, and currently no divergence on the weekly. I think we could see it crawling higher, and I think we'll see it a little bit of a setback. It's just baby steps, but still it is pushing higher there. However, on the daily, there is some divergence, and we can see that if we do this. Here we can see the spikes up here, the peak up there were higher than they currently are, but still it seems like it will push to 118. The sterling dollar stalling a little bit, could be set back to 136.30, 35 before next push higher. The euro sterling bounced from the 38.2 retracement just above 85, and could, if it takes out 86 and this peak here 86 and a change, then we could see it pushing towards 86.55, which is 786 retracement of this downtrend there. However, if it takes out the lows from the 27th of June from Friday, well, then I think we'll see it sliding back to 84.60, 84.50. On the yen pairs, we have dollar yen once again sliding below the 55 moving average. I think we could see it testing the lower rising trend line there maybe today. RSI could be testing 40 threshold. If both are broken, then I think we'll see a push down to 142 support. If that is being taken out, well, then we are looking at the lows around 140 and a quarter, 140. And the bear trend has definitely resumed, and it seems like that's the way we are headed. The euro yen dancing sideways here, just below 170. We are in a bullish trend though. Here on the medium term also, no divergence on the positive RSI. There's a slightly divergence here on the daily RSI, indicating short-term trend exhaustion, maybe a little bit of a setback, so I'll be cautious being long unless it suddenly takes out the peak here at 169.81. Then I think we could see a little bit push higher. The Aussie yen Friday again tested the resistance there at 94.80. Didn't break it, couldn't really. It got a few cents above, but I want a proper break for a move to 95.75. So now we have a setback here. We could set back to the 100 and the 55 moving average, just above 93. Sterling yen didn't get all the way up to 190 and not up to the 161.8 projection before this morning's being hit with a selling pressure. Could dip to 196.40 support before next push higher. Slight divergence there on the RSI. I think, let me check, 65.55 and 67. Yeah, so there's divergence there. The RSI values are lower here than here, so we are a little bit stretched on the bullish trend there. So we could see a setback down to that level there, 196.5 area. Aussie dollar once again testing several times now the 65.50. Spiked above a little bit, but couldn't really gain momentum. We need a close above. I think if it takes out 26th of June peak at 65.65, and we can actually just draw a horizontal line just to give us some. I think if it takes out that, then we will get the final push towards 66.20, with this 138.2 projection of this correction there. Dollar Canada. Oh, let's just resize it. There we are. Still keeping itself, has dipped a little bit below, but not a definite break of the support here at 136.35. If it takes out the lows at 26th of June at 136.15, then I think we'll see the push lower towards the previous low here at 135.40. Sterling Canada, oops, let's get it in there. Sterling Canada seems to be range trading here between 186.90 and 188.40. But we are in a bullish trend. I think we'll see it push higher eventually towards 189 and possibly higher. EURUSD still range bound, so not much to talk about. We talked about it for so long now, so I couldn't be bothered this morning. Dollar Swiss sliding lower along this falling trend line there. Still potential down to 79 and 78.70, where it says the 138.2 projection of this corrective pattern here. However, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of a bullish correction towards and trying to get back above 80.40, but the downtrend is intact until we break it back above 82. The dollar index, more or less the same picture, could touch the 138.2 projection at 96.10 fairly soon, possibly today. And as we can see, there is really, there is divergence, but it could be a short-term exhaustion move down to around 96 and then a bounce. Metals, gold this morning was testing 3,245 support and then bounced back above the rising trend line there. I think we could bounce a little bit further today. We also had the RSI bouncing from 40 threshold, flirting with this falling trend line here. So that will be key. 3,245, really key support. If it's taken out, then I think we'll see it sell off down to around 3,167 area. But for now, it seems like we are bouncing a little bit. But we are in a short-term bearish correction. The silver also touched and tested the 45 support here this morning and then bounced. So it seems that is really a key support level that should be observed. The platinum Friday corrected down to 50% of this uptrend there, and then bounced. If it takes out 1325, then we're looking at 1300, possibly down to 1261. If it doesn't and instead takes out the previous peak there at 1437, well, then we're looking at 1520. Copper is on the move now. It's been struggling for some time, but late last week it started moving and excuse me, and has now potential up to 530, 540. Positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence, but do expect maybe a little bit of a setback if there's some weakness in the other metals, but it is in a bullish trend for now, so that seems like that's where we are headed at the moment. On the energy side, well, the crude oil that has been in so much volatility has the past week or so just been dancing sideways. Just here we have WTI around the 65. There's a support here 63.73, where we also have the 55 moving average coming up. So let's see if it can bounce towards 69 and a half. I'm not so sure, but for now it seems fairly calm days. Same picture on Brent, obviously, just around 65.50, where we have some support here in this region. And I think it could bounce a little bit, but as you can see, all moving averages are now pointing lower, apart from 55 that is giving some support. So we could be range bound in this range here between 66 and 70 for quite some time. The European nat gas below support and could be sliding lower. RSI negative could be sliding lower towards the 32 and the 31.30 level. The US nat gas bounced late last week and up to the 38.2 retracement there, and the 50% retracement of this move. So we could also be caught range bound here. However, there's positive sentiment on the RSI. If it takes out 375, then I think we'll see a push up to around $4. Key support here just around 335. US 10-year Treasury yield that bounced from the 786 retracement of 423. Maybe it will keep bouncing, but negative sentiment on the RSI. If it takes out 420, well, then we could be looking at 412, possibly 410 down here. But I think over the next couple of days, we could bounce a little bit. And what I will do, I will actually add a Fibonacci to this downtrend here. Say if it does, well, then maybe we could see it bounce up to around 438, which is the 38.2 retracement, just around the 55 moving average. On the European 10-year, well, European 10-year tested the 260 resistance here Friday, a little bit setback. If it takes out the peak there from Friday, that was just above 260, then we're looking at 265. The UK also bounced, and what I will do, I'll actually add a Fibonacci to this one and say, okay, in the region around 458, 460, some strong resistance there. We could bounce to that, but we are in a bearish trend. And Bitcoin, Bitcoin not doing much over the weekend. It's been slightly higher, and I still think it will crawl higher, but key is the 60 threshold here on the RSI. As you can see, it needs to close above. If not, then we could see a little bit of setback again. But if it can close above 60 threshold, and I think that will situation will play out if it takes out today's peak. And the same here on the Ethereum, that is really lacking here on the RSI. You can see, so it's struggling for really upside momentum. But I still think we could see it testing the 61.8 retracement at 2,587. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day and talk to you later.